Hi there. My name is Anna Waugh, and I am the Development and Communications Manager at Mississippi Park Connection. And our organization is the nonprofit partner to a national park right here in Minneapolis and St. Paul. And the name of the park is very long. It is the Mississippi National River and Recreation Area. So you might be wondering, well, what is a nonprofit? And basically, what a nonprofit is an organization that has a mission and a vision for a better world. And they bring resources to making that mission happen. And so our mission is to connect people to the Mississippi River. We think that the river is an amazing place to go because it provides healing. It's beautiful. It has lots of wildlife that you can see, like bald eagles, even otters. And we believe everyone has the right to experience this amazing place that we have right here in the middle of the city. So as a nonprofit, our role is really to connect people. And how do we do that? We do that in a lot of different ways. We have volunteer opportunities, so people can come out and they help restore the natural habitat by maybe removing an invasive species or planting a tree. We have people go out on boats, friends over at Wilderness Inquiry to help teach youth about the river. So kids, starting in really about third grade all the way through high school and even college get out and have a river experience. And we also do things like bring resources to the river in terms of money. And so that's really where my role comes in as the development manager. I help to do fundraising. So fundraising is really the art of going out and asking people for money. And it's kind of a fun job. It's kind of an unusual job. Not too many people think of fundraising as a career. Because it's kind of a quiet career in the sense that I'm really behind the scenes. So like most people who work in the outdoor industry are, out on the boat, they're out doing the restoration work. A lot of my job is looking for donors who are interested in investing in this work. And so I might talk to families who have a connection to the river, who want to help other people experience the river. There's also things like corporations who help to make this work possible. So a lot of local corporations in the Twin Cities are really generous and give what's called a grant to the nonprofit, really, to make the work happen. And they do that through charitable giving, and that's really what I do. So a lot of my job is looking for people who are interested in helping to make our mission possible, and then kind of showing them what their money can do to make that mission happen. And so I'll have a meeting with someone, or I might write a grant. I do a lot of work on our website to make sure that our website is really clear about how people's support can make this awesome outdoor happen. And that's really what my job is to kind of make the case for why the river matters and why getting people to the river matters too. So writing is something I've always enjoyed doing. When I was in high school, I really enjoyed writing for fun, writing stories. I kept a journal. I really loved, like in school, my favorite thing to do was write a paper. I hated tests, but papers were always really fun because I got to do research and, talk about my thoughts. And so I think my favorite thing that I get to do is write grants. And grants are a really different kind of writing than a paper, because you have to be very concise. So often you'll just have a very short space to make a case for why the work you're doing matters. But I kind of think of it as a puzzle, and I really enjoy thinking about how can I pack the most information into the fewest words. And it's just, it's really fun. So I think if you enjoy writing, there are lots of careers in the outdoors where you get to write. The most challenging aspect of my job, because I'm asking for money, I actually really enjoy asking for money, but sometimes the donor isn't really interested in our work. And so you have to be able to handle a certain amount of rejection. And that's kind of hard because I love what we do so much. I can never understand why someone wouldn't want to get involved. That's kind of the hardest thing, is you have to have a thick skin if you go into fundraising, because sometimes the donor is just not gonna be interested in what you're working on. And I had an environmental studies degree from Macalester College. That degree at Macalester is very interdisciplinary, which means you get to take a lot of different kinds of classes. So I took classes in writing, I took classes in math, I took classes in science, and really got a background in a lot of different things. And I think that's really helped me now, because sometimes I'll have to talk to a scientist and find out, well, what are you doing with these otters that makes it such an exciting project? And then explain that to someone else who may not know anything about otters at all. And so having a little bit of a background in a lot of different things has been really, really helpful. And I think all throughout college, I did a lot of writing too. So again, with kind of like thinking about writing, that was a key piece of my work. And I think after college, well, during college, I had a couple of internships. I wasn't totally sure what I wanted to do. I knew I was interested in environmental work. And I actually worked for a bit at Eureka Recycling. So, recycling is a really important issue in the environment. And then I worked for the Minnesota Land Trust, which is an organization that helps to conserve big plots of land. I had an internship also with the Department of Employment and Economic Development. So I had, I think in total, 5 or 6 big internships between junior year and the couple of years after college. And I didn't find a job right away after college that I loved. It really took me a couple of years to figure out exactly what I wanted to do. And while I was doing that, I actually worked for a while at an organization called Clean Water Action. And Clean Water Action is a really cool organization because they lobby for environmental causes. So they're going down to the Capitol and talking to politicians about environmental justice and things like that. And my job there was to actually walk door to door and talk to people about the issues and have them sign petitions and have them, help to fund the lobbyists who are out working on those issues. And so I did that for about 2 years after college before coming and working where I work now. And then I did a number of different jobs since I started at my organization here too, including being a volunteer coordinator and a communications coordinator. And so I think kind of that is all to say, there's no one right path, and you may end up trying a lot of different things. And I was very passionate and continue to be passionate about the environment and about healthy communities. And so I think, for me, the mission and the passion to connect people to environmental spaces and to nature matters the most. And then after that, I've tried a lot of different kinds of duties within that career path. For my career, writing has been really important. It's also been really critical to have a little bit of a design background. So I did take a couple of design courses. I'm not a graphic designer, but I'm able to work with graphic designers and kind of know what I'm looking for and kind of speak that language a bit. Another thing that is important is really understanding how nonprofits work. And so after college, I actually went back to school for 1 year at St. Thomas University to get a certificate in nonprofit management and a certificate in fundraising. And so both of those certificates have been really helpful in helping me understand how does a budget work, how does, what kinds of ethics are involved with fundraising, when should you ask a donor for money, and those kinds of things are really important to, the management of a nonprofit. And so, those are some of the things, and a lot of that stuff, a lot of the skills I learned on the job. So I think, having all those different internships, I learned to talk to people. I learned to, educate people and just the skill of being in a meeting. It's kind of sounds silly, but being on a team is a really important skill, I think. And so learning how to work with other people is really key to being in a fundraising career. I think the best thing that you can do is try a lot of different things. So while you're in high school, go volunteer, and you can get a sense for how different nonprofits work. I think work experience is also really important. So I worked all the way through high school and college at like an ice cream shop and a deli, and kind of understanding how deadlines work. My job is really focused on making sure that I meet deadlines. And so kind of starting to train your brain to think about deadlines is really important. Like getting your assignments in on time at school and things like that will serve you really well in a fundraising career. Also, really getting to know the outdoors is awesome. Like, I think I fell in love with the outdoors first and then found this career. And so going out and trying new things, try canoeing, try hiking, try biking. These are all cool things that will give you a lot of confidence. And you can do them regardless of whether or not you're actually working with people in those areas, or you're just doing them for fun on your own. And so I think my advice really is to try new things, volunteer, and learn how to make deadlines. Well, at the end of the day, I'm really passionate about people, and I'm really passionate about nature. And I just really think, especially now with climate change, that it is critical that everyone have an education in the environment, because we all depend on it, and we all need water, air, and food, all of which come from the environment. And so I'm passionate to make sure that we have a healthy and clean planet, and I'm, so that we all can be happy and free beings.